class, welcome to Friday. We have made it to the end of our first week not seeing each other. You are doing really well and I'm really impressed with the things that you have been doing. So well done, yellow class. Keep up the good work. Now today I've set out a few little things to get us through Friday. So phonics, we're looking at that long U phoneme. We have to be a bit careful with this one because sometimes it sounds a bit tricky in words and it's a bit hard for us to spot sometimes. So we've got that EW, which tends to come at the end of words, like blue. I blew out the candles. You've got that EW at the end. We've also got the UE, which stays together sometimes. That tends to also come at the end of words, like the colour blue, which this is where homophones come from because we've got the same word, different meanings, and they're spelt differently. We have also got that split vowel digraph where we've got the U and the E that have been separated by that naughty little consonant, and that's in words like flute. So if we have a look at the word flute, we've got that U and that E that have been split up by that consonant, and we have got the double O. Now double O can be a bit tricky because it makes two sounds. If you remember, we've got the oo, we're looking at the long oo with that double O, so we're looking for it in words like spoon, not words like look, where it's making it short sound. So just need to be a little bit careful with that one. And again, you've got phonics play if you've managed to access that, or you can make up your own games, do whatever you want. You can have a look in some books and make a list of the words that you find, however's best working for you, just revising those sounds and making sure you're using the correct one when you're writing words out. So today, our guided reading activity. In your pack, you should have a picture of a treasure map. Now you are going to be designing a treasure map for Sir Charlie Stinky Socks. Now I want you to think about, when you're designing it, the names of some of the places. Now in Sir Charlie's book, we have a Tomb of Doom. Now if we think about those words, what do we notice about them? They're rhyming words. So the author, Christina Stevenson, when she's written that, she has put the Tomb of Doom because it rhymes. We've got a river of riddles, a puzzling pit, and a mine of much despair. What she's thinking about there, she's done lots of alliteration. So you've got the river of riddles, the puzzling pit. That's called alliteration. They start with the same letter. So you could try, when you design your map, think about some different places. You might want to think of names that rhyme. You might want to just think of some alliteration where you've got words that start with the same sound. Okay, have a little go. So you've got a map to design. Maths, again today, if you have a go at doing some counting, don't forget you can count up and back in steps. We can count in 1s, 2s, 5s and 10s. And you might want to do that with somebody, so maybe you can get a beanbag and you can throw and catch to each other so that you are counting really carefully, and just to make it a little bit fun and a little bit interactive. I'm going to make a separate message in a minute about the capacity, because what we're doing is we are thinking about capacity, and I'm going to show you on a separate video, a bit like your measures, I'm going to show you how I want you to do that capacity and what I want you to do at home. So you might need to get some resources for that. I'll tell you about those later. Now, I've moved the day around a little bit, so I hope that doesn't shock too many of you. What I want you to think about is we're going to start next, we're going to do some science, and I'd like you to go on a little bit of a science walk. We are still allowed to go out for walks, for exercise and things. What I'd like you to do is go for a walk and look for some spring flowers. And I put some pictures of some spring flowers on the board. So you might see some tulips, and I did put a picture of the tulips in our class garden on our website last week. You might find some primroses or some primulas and some crocuses. You might see some daffodils. There are quite a few daffodils out at the moment. You might see some crocuses. I know we had some round the side of school. I don't know if it's a bit late now for crocuses. You might still see some. And you might have a camellia bush which's got some flowers on it. When I get home tonight, I'll take a picture of the camellia in my garden because it's just coming out at the moment and it's very similar to this one here. So you might see some of those flowers. So as you go for a walk, spot the flowers that you can see. Then I want you to think about a poem, okay? When you're writing your poem, now poems aren't like stories, they are just short little bits of writing, and we don't need to always follow some of the same rules. You're not writing lots of really long sentences. You do need to use punctuation and capital letters, but poetry, poems and things, you can be a little bit more free with those. And I've just found a poem that you might want to use as a little bit of inspiration to help you. So, I found this poem, it's called Spring Flowers. Daffodils so proud and tall, stooping snowdrops white and small. Hyacinth, you smell so sweet, rows of petals nice and neat. Crocus short and tulips taller, petals bright with lots of colour. Bluebells carpet, forest floor, springtime flowers we adore. So there's a poem there. Now you'll notice that this poem, those people with good listening ears, you will have spotted that we have got some rhyming words at the end of each of those sentences. Don't worry if you can't do a rhyming poem. I know they're very difficult, but I would like you to think about some of those adjectives and words that you might use to describe the flowers that you've seen, and I'd really like you to have a go at doing a descriptive poem. So if we look in this poem here, some of the words they've used to describe, they've talked about daffodils being proud and tall. Stooping snowdrops. So stooping is because a snowdrop bends over at the top. So we've got white and small. Hyacinth with your smell so sweet, so it's talking about the scent of the hyacinth. Rows of petals, nice and neat. Crocus short and tulips taller. Or tulips isn't an adjective, sorry children. We've got the taller there. Petals bright with lots of colour. Bluebells carpet, florist floor, springtime flowers we adore. So think about how you can write that poem, and you might just get a couple of verses, a couple of things done that are just quite short ones. So have a think about that. Handwriting today. Haven't got rid of yesterday's. Handwriting, we're looking at that vowel U. So we've got the U that goes up, round and down. Then we're going to do a U and an M. And again with an M we have to remember that we have to have that lead in, not just two bumps. So we've got the U and the M, the U and the M. And then we have got two words, so we've got the word some, not the sum as in I'd like some more food, some as in a math sum. So we've got some, we've got S, we've got U, and then we've got the M. We've got the S, U and M, and then we've got tum, so we've got a tall T, a low U and an M, so tall T, low U and low M, and that's our handwriting for this week completed. Okay, and then I think I've just popped on the end. If you want to again, you think about that getting physical. We did Joe Wicks here in school today. It was quite tiring, we were quite hot and sweaty. And Mrs. Lucas was very tired by the end of it, but we've had a really good time. So make sure you are doing a little bit of physical activity as well. It's not all just about sitting down and learning. You have to get moving as well. Well done everybody, you've done some really great work this week, and I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. Bye!